nine signs, that is improvement in food resources. So first of all, what is the definition of food? Yes, food is essential organic substance required for proper growth and functioning of our body. Okay, it provides us with various nutrients, which are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals. Okay, now let us take a brief introduction of this chapter. Okay, so first, we know that India is a largely populated country, and to feed this growing population, the farmers of our country need to cultivate large amount of land and produce more grains. And for production of more grains, of course, there will be a need of more land. Yes, as the land will get, area under land will get increased, then the production of grains can be increased. But you know that India is already intensively populated, intensively agriculture is there, intensively cultivated. Okay, India is intensively cultivated, which means that all the land, actually not all the land, maximum land in India is already cultivated. Then there is no scope of increasing the land under cultivation for production of more grains. Then how can farmers produce more grains to meet the feeding, or to meet and feed the demands of increasing population? Then in this chapter, that only we are going to study how can farmers do this, what modern farming techniques they can adopt to produce more grains in less amount of land. Okay, so for this, various revolutions have taken place. Okay, like we are having green revolution. Green revolution has contributed to increase the production of grains is in less amount of land. Okay, green revolution said to many people, it spread the awareness to use high yielding variety seeds, to use chemical fertilizers, to use chemical pesticides, to use fertilizers, and because of this, as a result, there was an increase in grain production. Okay, same way we are having white revolution. White revolution has contributed to increase the production of milk. Okay, as milk is white in color, then white revolution. Okay, so now we have taken a brief introduction of the chapter. Now we are going to study what are the different types of crops on basis of nutrients they provide. First, we are having cereal crops. Cereal crops provide us with carbohydrates, and as you know, carbohydrates provide us with the energy requirements of our body. So, carbohydrates. These cereals provide us with carbohydrates. Example, if I talk of example, then wheat, rice, maize, these are all examples of cereals. Next, second type of crop, pulses. Pulses fulfill the requirement of proteins to our body, like mutton, arhar, black gram. These are all the pulses. Next, third one is oil seed crops. These oil seed crops provide us with necessary fats in our body, like mustard, sunflower, etc., etc. Soya bean, yes, etc. Then we are having vegetables, spices and fruits. Now, many people advise you to eat more vegetables and fruits. Why is it so? Well, it is because vegetables and fruits and spices also, they provide us with a wide variety of minerals and vitamins. Okay. In addition, they also provide us with small quantity of carbohydrates, fats and proteins also. So they are highly beneficial to our body. They make our body more fit. So we are advised to eat more vegetables and fruits. Okay. Next, fodder crops. Fodder crops are raised to provide food as a food for livestock. What is livestock? Livestock are the animals reared, okay, for production of many things. Like cow is there, cow is reared, cow is taken care by people because it produces us milk, and milk, we need milk. So for cow we provide Sudan grass, and this Sudan grass is a fodder crop because it is food for cow and it is raised as food for cow, that is the livestock. So now, so that we have discussed all the types of crops on basis of nutrient providing. Next, we are going to discuss the seasonal crops on based on their seasons. Okay, two crops are there, that is kharif crops and rabi crops. What are kharif crops? Kharif crops are those crops which are grown in rainy season or hot season. Okay, hot or rainy season. These crops they are grown during June to October month. Okay, example paddy, maize, cotton, gram, etc. Okay, then rabi crops. Rabi crops are grown in dry and winter season. Okay, dry and winter season. They are grown from the month of November to April. Okay, examples of rabi crops are the black gram, pea, then we are having mustard, etc. Okay, so these were the examples of rabi crops. So now we have discussed all the types of crops very nicely. Now we are going to come across the main part of the chapter. Yes, guess what? It is the improvement in crop yield. How can we improve the yield of crops in same area under cultivation? So without increasing the area under cultivation, how can we produce more grains? Okay, so there are three main techniques, three main processes what we are going to study, three main topics what we are going to study in this chapter. So they are crop variety improvement, where we are going to see that how variety of crops can be grown very nicely, very properly with strategic ideas, so that there will be more production of grains. Second, crop production management. Yes, to manage the crops is a very important thing, because only sowing the seeds and leaving it as it is not our duty. We need to take care of the crop so that it will give more yield. We'll get more yield. Okay, next, crop protection management. We need to protect the crops from weeds, pests and all, insects and all, because they can harm the crops, and due to which there will be reduction in the crop yield or grain production. Okay, so now these all three we are going to study in detail and very properly. So let's start. Okay students, now let's begin with crop variety improvement. The main aim of this practice, that is crop variety improvement, is to find a variety of crop which can withstand various situations like high salinity of soil, diverse climatic conditions and water availability, etc. So these are the various problems which a crop can bear. Okay, and we should select a crop which can withstand all these problems. Now let us take a look on ways for improvement in crop variety. The first way we are going to look is the hybridization, the process of hybridization. What is hybridization? Hybridization is the crossing between genetically two dissimilar plants, and these two dissimilar plants are known as hybrids. Okay, what is it? It is nothing but a crossing between genetically two dissimilar plants. What I'm talking about? I'm talking about two dissimilar plants. So this was hybridization. The second technique is of genetic manipulation. What is the genetic manipulation? Genetic manipulation is nothing but the incorporation of desired characteristics into an organism by means of hybridization or DNA recombination, etc. Now what do I mean by this sentence? I know I just gone through this sentence. I did not explain it at all. So let me explain it. Simple. It is nothing but incorporation. Incorporation means putting up or putting in the desired characteristic. Now see, suppose a crop is there which gives high yield. It gives high yield, but it suffers through lot of diseases. And one crop is there which is disease resistant, which means that it can bear any disease. It can withstand with any disease. Okay, it can face most of the diseases, but it is not producing more grains. But I want a plant which can withstand diseases also, and it can give more grains also. So what I will do, I will take this plant and this plant. I will perform hybridization between these two plants or DNA recombination, and keep in mind these two plants should not be like the same plants. Okay, so what I do is I'll combine these two. I'll let hybridization or DNA recombination. I'll let combination between these two plants, and a new variety will be formed, and this variety will have the characteristic which I wanted. That is, it will have high resistance to diseases also, and it will have the ability to produce more grains also. So this is only genetic manipulation. Okay, the manipulation or incorporation of desired characteristics, whatever characteristics you want into an organism by means of hybridization, DNA recombination or any other processes. Okay, so by this we can get desired characteristics in any organism or any plant or animal. Okay, by this it can be highly beneficial to human beings. So these were the two ways for improvement in crop variety which you have to keep in mind. Okay, next we have to discuss what are the factors affecting this crop variety. So first of all, this first factor what we are going to see is the higher yield. Yes, of course, all the farmers adopt many techniques for for improving crop production for higher yield only. Okay, a crop should have ability to give higher yield. Second, the improving quality. Okay, improved quality. Now the definition of quality is different for different crops. Now what is the meaning of quality here? Now if I talk of pulses, what do pulses provide us? If we have seen, yes, they provide us with proteins. So when I talk of pulses, they should be very rich in proteins. When I talk of wheat, they should be very rich in carbohydrates. When I talk of any fruit like mango or apple, it should be very rich in vitamins and minerals. Actually, mango is not, but I'm just giving an example. Okay, when I talk of banana or any other vegetable, it should be rich in vitamins and minerals. Means whatever nutrient it provides to us, it should be rich in that nutrient. Okay, so that is the quality of that crop. So there should be improved quality of the crop. This is the second factor. The third factor is the biotic and abiotic resistance or stress. Biotic refers to the nematodes, insects and pests which attack the plants and does not let the plants to grow properly, which can result in decreasing of grain production, and it is really very bad for farmers. Abiotic stress, what are the abiotic things which can affect the crop production? Yes, abiotic stress like drought, heavy rainfall, flood, these all things can affect crop production. Because of this also crop production can get too much reduced. It can get too much reduced. Now the fourth one is change in maturity duration. Now what do I mean by change in maturity duration? Simple. Maturity duration means the duration between the sowing of the seeds, means growing of the plants, and the harvesting. If the duration of this maturity duration is less, then a farmer can plant many crops in a single year. By this process, by planting many crops in a single year, the farmer can get high profit. Yes, from first type of plant he will get a certain profit. Second round of crop he will get certain profit, and again another round of crop he will have profit. But if he plants only one type of crop the whole year, then he will get less profit. So that is why there should be reduction in change in maturity duration in plants. Okay, and some plants are there which there should be more maturity duration. Okay, so desirable maturity duration should be there. Change in maturity duration is another factor for crop production, affecting crop production. Next we are having that is wider adaptability. Now different plants should have capacity to withstand different climatic conditions. Okay, they should be able to adapt any of the situation. They should be able to adapt different climatic conditions, different natural conditions, different water. Okay, water like scarce of water like that conditions. Okay, so they should be able to withstand different situations. And if they are able to withstand these situations, these difficult situations, then any plant can be grown very properly in different climatic conditions also. Next, we are having the desirable agronomic characteristics. Now, what are these desirable agronomic characteristics? This is the characteristics which I or the farmer wants in a plant. Now, if I talk of fodder crops need to be big. Okay, fodder crops need to be big. Why they need to be big? Because if there will be more fodder crops, if their length will be very big, then the livestock will have more food to eat, and there will be less low investment also in it. Okay, so that is desirable agronomic characteristic in fodder crop. But in pulses mein kya? No, I don't want very big plants in pulses. What I want in pulses, only good quality of pulses should be produced. Only I want this one thing in pulse plant. If I take an example of gram, only I want gram from that. Okay, I want only gram from that pulses, from that pulse plant, from that gram plant. So if I want only pulses, enough. I get pulses, that's enough for me. But if the plant is very big, it will need more nutrition. I will have to provide it more water. So high investment is needed, which is of no use. But in case of fodder plants, fodder crops, they need to be very big. And if they are very big, then the cows will get more to eat in less investment also. So hereby we have completed the topic of crop variety improvement. Now let us study crop production management. Here in crop production management, we are going to study three main things, which are nutrient management, then irrigation for the crops, and the third, cropping patterns, where we are going to see ideal techniques for getting more grains, for increase in grain production. So let us study each one of them very properly. First, nutrient management. You know what are nutrients? Nutrients are inorganic elements required for both plants and animals. Yes, like animals require nutrients like carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, proteins. The same way, similarly, plants also require some nutrients. And plants actually require 16 nutrients. Yes, totally they require 16 nutrients, which are provided to them by air, water and soil. By air, they get oxygen and carbon, and by water, they get hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, so three nutrients they get from air and water, and from out of 16, 3 they get from air and water, and rest 13 they get from soil. Now some are required in large quantities and are known as macronutrients, and some nutrients are required in smaller quantities and are known as micronutrients. Now macronutrients are 6 in number. What are those? They are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium and sulfur. Then let's talk about micronutrients, which are required in smaller quantities to the plants, and they are also provided by soil only. They are 7 in number. They are iron, manganese, boron, copper, zinc, molybdenum and chlorine. So these were the macro and micro nutrients. So we have finished actually with nutrient management. Now let us discuss about manures and fertilizers. You know, manures are nothing but organic substances formed by decomposition of animal excreta and plant waste. Two types of manures we are going to study, that is first one compost and second one green manure. Compost, simple. Compost is getting manure. Okay, it is a process in which manure is prepared by farm waste, by decomposition of farm waste like animal excreta, domestic waste, vegetable waste, etc. in pits. They are decomposed in pits, and this process is only called composting. And when for composting, okay, for preparing this type of manure, when earthworms are used, they are known as vermicomposting. Simple. Okay, now let's talk about green manure. Some plants like sun hemp and guar, they are grown and mulched during plowing only. Why are they done so? Because after mulching, after crushing, they get converted into soil and give the soil a humus. They provide the soil with the humus, dead decaying matter, and they increase the soil fertility of the ground. So that is why this type of manure is called green manure. Okay, so this way we have finished with manures. Now let's talk about fertilizers. Fertilizers are commercially produced nutrients to the plants. Okay, like we are having many fertilizers are there. Now let's compare manures and fertilizers. Okay, so first point of comparison is fertilizers is made of chemicals. Fertilizers is inorganic salt, while manure is formed by decomposition of animal excreta as well as plant waste. Fertilizers are formed in factories and manures are formed in fields, in pits. Then third point, fertilizers are they do not produce any sort of humus to the soil. dead decaying matter to the soil, but manure produce large amount of humus to the soil. Fertilizers, they are rich in nutrients, but manure, they don't provide that type of nutrients to the soil as fertilizers do. Okay, so this was about comparison of manures and fertilizers. Fine. Now here we have completed with manures and fertilizers. Now let's discuss organic farming. Now organic farming is simple, eco-friendly, environment-friendly farming. Fine. So here we are going to study three main points. That is very simple. Here, as it is eco-friendly, environment-friendly, manures are only used, and the use of fertilizers and chemicals, herbicides, pesticides are minimized. Okay, this was the second. The third one is for storage purpose, turmeric and neem leaves are used instead of these insecticides and pesticides for storage. Fine. So here we have finished with organic farming also. Now friends, let us discuss about irrigation. Irrigation is nothing but the artificial supply of water to agricultural fields. Now let us discuss about some resources of water. Okay, first one is the wells. Wells are dug where there is groundwater present for irrigation. Now two types of wells are tube wells and dug wells. Second, canals. Canals are elaborate and extensively used method of receiving water from reservoirs like dams and rivers. Now where canals are not available for irrigating the fields, the farmers irrigate their fields by directly taking water from rivers. So this system is called river lift system. Now next resource is the modern techniques. They adopt some modern techniques also, which include rainwater harvesting and watershed development. Now let us discuss about the cropping patterns, which is the next part of crop production management. Here farmers adopt many ideal techniques and strategies to get maximum benefit on same piece of land. So let us discuss one by one each of these techniques. The first technique is of multiple cropping. In multiple cropping, one or more, or you can say two or more crops are grown simultaneously on same piece of land. Okay, they are grown simultaneously on same piece of land. Example is of wheat and gram. Wheat and gram are both grown on same piece of land and on same time also. Next is intercropping. In intercropping also two or more crops or one or more crops are grown simultaneously on same piece of land but in definite pattern. Now this pattern may be of alternative pattern, like one row is there of one certain plant and the second row is there of one certain plant. And here the farmers ensure they take special care that the nutrient requirements of both the crops are different. Otherwise they will compete for the nutrients. Example is that of soybean and maize. Both are grown simultaneously in definite pattern on same piece of land in intercropping by the farmers. The third one is the crop rotation. Now here in crop rotation, it is really very highly beneficial for the farmer. Here multiple rounds of crops can be grown in single year. Okay, in 1 year multiple rounds of crops are grown. One crop is harvested and the second is second is grown, second is harvested and the third is grown. So this way multiple rounds of crops are grown in a single year, and this way the farmers get a high benefit, because they don't get benefit only from one type of crop. They get benefit from multiple rounds of crops. So this way all the three cropping patterns are really beneficial for the farmers. Okay, so now let us discuss the advantages of cropping patterns. The first one is very simple, there is less risk of total crop failure. If one crop fails, then the second one is there to give profit for the farmers. And second one, if both the crops give better return, okay, if both the crops give more production of grains, then it can be really profitable for the farmers. It can give double benefit for the farmers. So this way we have completed with crop production management. Okay friends, now let us discuss crop protection management. Friends, protection of crops is very much necessary, because when crops are attacked, crops can be attacked by various factors, by various things, by insects, pests and various other pathogens also. So this can result to reduction in grain production, and if there is a reduction in grain production, then the farmers will not be able to, they will have loss. Okay, they will be in loss and the large population could not be fed. So now let us see what are the various threats to plants. What are the various threats? The first one are the weeds. Weeds are unwanted plants which grow unnecessarily. Okay, and these can harm the necessary crops or wanted plants. How can they do this? Nothing but they compete for main crops, for necessary crops, for nutrients, space and light. And as a result, the necessary crop will not grow properly and thus resulting in reduction in grain production. So some weeds are xanthium and paramecium. So these are the two weeds, examples of weeds. Now how can you control the weeds? Yes, you can uproot them by your hands. Before plowing only, you will have to uproot the weeds. Okay, by using some tools like khurpi, hoe and all, and using by your hand also you can do this. Second threat is the insect pest. Now insect pest can also harm the crop in various ways. First, they cut the cell, they cut the stem, root and leaf. Second, they absorb the cell sap from various parts of the plant. And then third, they bore into stems and fruits. So this way they can also harm to the plants. Okay, so they also need to be controlled. You can control it by resistant varieties like pesticides, insecticides, etc. etc. The third trait are the crop diseases. Now, these diseases in crops can be caused by pathogens like bacteria, fungi, viruses, etc. So, crops also are also needed to be protected from these pathogens. They can be protected again by use of pesticides. Now, let us discuss about storage of grains. Now, farmers have to store the grains very properly because during this, if they don't store the grains properly, then the grain production can be also reduced. Now, biotic factors and abiotic factors can affect the grains. Biotic factors like rodents, fungi, bacteria, they can cause harm to the grains, and abiotic factors like inappropriate moisture and temperature can also affect the grains. How can they affect the grains? Simple. First, they can result in degradation of quality. Their quality can get reduced. Means if it is producing more amount of protein, then it will produce less amount of protein than before. Then second, poor germinative capacity. It can reduce the germinative capacity of the seed. And third, discoloration of the produce. And fourth, loss in weight. If it is of 5 kg, then rodents, they will eat everything and bring it up to 2 kgs only. So this way it can harm to farmers a lot. So farmers need to store the grains very properly. Now let us discuss the control. How can we control this biotic factors and abiotic factors? First, strict cleaning should be done. Strict cleaning of the grain should be done. And the second, proper drying should be done to avoid the attack of moisture, to avoid the exposure of the grains from the moisture. And the third one, fumigation should be done to kill the insect pest. In fumigation, the insect pests are exposed to fumes of chemicals, and because of the fumes of those chemicals, the insect pests are dying. So friends, we have completed the first part of the chapter, that is very important part, that is the agricultural part. Now, in the next part, we will discuss about the animal husbandry very properly, which can again be highly beneficial to the farmers.